Hello everyone, my name is Liesbeth and I'm just starting out Booktube, so it's only proper to start off with the Booktube newbie tag. So let's start off with the first question, which is why did you start this channel? There are a couple of reasons, one of them being abroad last month for a week in Italy for a conference, and I felt as if I didn't fit in. I felt left out, which made me sad, and obviously being away from home, I think in one way or another you start to look for something comfy, something that feels like home. And I ended up watching all videos of Jan Campbell, whose channel I followed since I think she started it. And I hadn't catched up with the videos for I think about 6 months, so I watched all those videos, and then I started watching other booktubers and basically used up my 4 gigabytes of 3G, and that made me realize that I missed some other things. When I was a student in Leuven, I used to work in a bookshop. When it closed down, I really felt as if I was losing sort of a second home, or at least my bookish home. I loved the give and take there, so recommending people things, sort of being a matchmaker between what people were looking for and the books. On the other hand, many people giving me so many interesting recommendations, having very interesting talks with people. I really loved that, and I realized last month that I missed this part of my life, especially now that I'm working on quite a serious topic in my daytime job, which is sexual violence. I've realized this for a couple of months that I need something beside this, something creative, something I wanted to say positive, but that sounds wrong, because working on sexual violence is positive in the way that you do change society and you are working for something positive, but obviously it's quite draining and it's quite heavy, and books have always made me feel good. So second question, what are some fun and unique things you can bring to BookTube? Well, probably all of the things I'll say, there will be other people working on them, so I don't think they're quite unique, but every person is a melting pot of many intersecting things, and I think that would make me bring some unique things to BookTube. First of them being that I'm Belgian and I speak Dutch, Flemish. And one of the things I would really like to do is to talk about some books that have been written by Dutch or Flemish authors and have been translated in English, but according to me, haven't been paid enough attention to. I do get that many books are published every month in English, but that makes it difficult for smaller books of non-English writers to be picked up by the audience. So you could call that series Dutch Flemish books the world should know about. The second is that I'm a pedagogue. So I studied pedagogy at a university in Leuven, Belgium. And that makes that I'm interested in a couple of things connected to that. I'm not a pedagogue who will tell people how to raise their children or how to educate. I'm more the philosophical kind. So my study was basically centered on the topic of Bildung, but it basically comes down to how you become a person in relation to people around you, but also in relation to certain things in society. I'm also a huge fan of children's books, children's pictures books, also picture books made for adults. I really love those, and I would like to talk about some of these picture books or children's books centered on central topics. I already have one in mind that I think will be one of the first videos I'll make, and I will try to bring these books together on central topics. One of the first topics I'm working on now is a video on picture books for kindergartners, kids up to 6 years old, on their feelings. So that's one of the first videos I'll be making, and I'm really looking forward to that. So third question, what are you most excited for about this new channel? Sharing the books I love, the books that learned me understandings of the world, understandings of myself, books that have changed me, and obviously hearing your recommendations, the books that have changed you. So question number 4, why do you love reading? Oh, well, this is a difficult and an easy one at the same time. I love reading and have loved reading since I was little, because I think books are like planes that bring you to different kinds of worlds, to different lives, to people who lead different lives, to different times and places. Thinking about the answer for this question actually helped me to define my channel name, which is Paperplane, as books are like paper planes that bring you to different kind of worlds. It matched. Question number 5. What books or book series got you into reading? Well, obviously, I think like many children, Roald Dahl was definitely part of me starting reading and starting to read books by myself. The fact that there weren't other people involved and it was just me and the book, that was definitely one of them. The books of Astrid Lindgren were also a huge part of my love of books. I looked up some of the titles because I didn't know how they were translated in English. And the series that I think I read first is called, let's see, The Six Bullerby Children. In the US, it's titled The Children of Noisy Village, which is set in, I think, in the 1930s, yes. And the narrator is a girl called Lisa, and to me it felt as if we were friends and she was sharing what she did on the other side of the world, as if we were pen pals in a way. It's a story about 3 houses, a little village of just 3 houses, 6 children, and they have all kinds of simple daily adventures. I remember one going to the market to buy some things and always forgetting one thing, and I'm making up a song to not forget the thing you were forgetting. Something funny. When I was looking up the titles, I ran into something funny on the internet. Apparently there is this term called the Pullaby syndrome, which is a German term based on this series of books. German term refers to the idealization of Sweden, the stereotypical image of Sweden of wooden houses and clean lakes and green forests, you know, all these stereotypical things. I find it quite funny that this book series inspired this image of Sweden as well. And I think the reading series as a child sort of works the same as Netflix does now. You start with something and you're sort of caught by the virus and you'll end up binge reading then, in this case, the whole series. So question number 6 is what questions one would like to ask their favorite booktubers. A question I would like to ask my favorite booktubers is what having a booktube channel has brought to their lives that they wouldn't have dared to expect or even didn't come up with before they started one. And I would like to ask this question of some of my favorite booktubers, which are Dan Campbell, Lauren from Reads and Daydreams, and Sana from Books and Quiz. And finally, question number 7, what challenges do you think starting a booktube channel will be the hardest to overcome? Well, for me, it's the same challenge I think that is in all parts of my life. It's finding structure. So I have so many ideas I would love to work on, but bringing these together, working them out, and bringing them to a good end would definitely be the greatest challenge I'm facing at the moment. Whew, I made it. I already realized one thing is get the clock this clock out next time.